You are now tuned into the truth frequency.
We are TFR. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure search for myself with the help of the plant medicine ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die.
What is up, everyone? My name is Frank Castle, and I'm your Sorcerer Supreme of Saturday nights. And I'm here with my ethereal translator, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
What's up, everybody? How you doing, Paula?
I am shocked and amazed at what I just witnessed. I can't believe it. So a few seconds before the show started, hi, all my chat room folks. I love you. My Oscar, my cat, my love, the biggest joy in my life, the animal I love more than anything else in the world, hates Frank with a passion. Hates Frank. He looks at Frank like, you'll never be my father, Frank. You'll never be my father.
Why would you be here? Why do you even look at me?
And he just jumped up on the desk and like he was going to start talking in the mic. And I'm shocked.
He got right in my face like, I love you, buddy. And I was like, all right, I guess it's time for the show. When weird stuff starts to happen, that's the green light to go. Before we start any further, go anywhere else? I want a big shout outs to Chris and Cherie Gio. Without them, we wouldn't be here. Thank you so much for having us each and every Saturday night. Thank you for taking the time for listening to us and checking us out. And don't forget to sign up to TFR.
Get the app.
Be able to get a subscription. Listen to all the hosts. Everybody, there's something in there sprinkled for everyone. All right. We go deep end of the pool, but there's a lot of deep enders too that you might like. So definitely look into it. And get the app so you can just check it out and wait 30 seconds for the app to load. And then you're like, man, it has been like a minute and 30 seconds. But then when that app kicks on, it's fire. Also, I noticed that YouTube has been messing with the creators lately. The creator content, people aren't getting paid properly anymore. They're down 90% in what they were making in monthly revenue, which is killing a lot of the artistry on YouTube, the creators' content. For myself, I got a letter from my company, TuneCore, saying, "Hey, listen, YouTube's screwing with your revenue for your music." So, for me, when I looked at the numbers for this last month, and I'm just sharing this with you just to do it, but it went down like a good 76%, somewhere around there. So that's going to be permanent now until things make a flip. So if you're enjoying the content that you get from any of us, sign up for something, download a song, go listen to something somewhere. It's 99 cents. Keep it alive. You want the truth? This is the truth. Nobody's out there. I don't push pedal. I don't push pedal the material. I tell you guys, check it out. Send in your artwork to the Real Frankie Fearless Gmail. I'll get you paid through who I'm working with, where you'll get 50% of everything that comes out of the t-shirt, the poster, whatever, right? And then I connect you to that but it goes into the FearLess collection. So we all win, 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 win,
Yeah.
win. I try to share it with you immediately. I'm not out to make money through doing this. This isn't my source of income.
No,
This
this
is
isn't our primary source of
Not
income.
even close
We
to
do
a prime.
for
This
fun.
isn't even in the top 10.
Yeah.
Like this barely comes in at a 2%er, but it is my most 100% favorite thing to do.
Oh, me too.
Right. And, if you want to help out, this is how we help each other. So if you like any of the music you hear, HeistClick. That's me and the crew, me and the boys. It's funny. I was checking in on my brother, and I watched a video with him breaking down. He likes to get the new toys that come out and do like little reviews on them, but they give him the toy, they get it to him at a discount, and then he gets to do it. And he's back to using the hip hop name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Rob Banks is back. He's playing the music during the figures when he's doing the posable during the review. And it's like his hip hop persona is there, and
That's awesome.
While he's doing the review, and I love seeing.
That's got to be a lot of fun. Yeah,
I love seeing creators do what they're really meant to do. Look, I was a rapper. I'm still a rapper. I'm still a musician. I'm going to start putting out music a little bit at a time. But it's almost like the music and the attitude and all that craziness had to be, loaded into the program so I can get where I am here.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I kind of like learned where I need to be, what I like to do, how I like to do it. And now I'm progressing at it. I think people should start doing that. We are officially out of the retrograde. It doesn't mean we're out of danger. What it means is it's time to rock and roll. All the things that were on hold for the last month.
Yeah, go for it now.
Now you go for it 1,000%. You put all into your all. Right? Try to have a couple of things you love to do, things that you enjoy, and then go put some effort into it and watch what occurs when the universe is conspiring with you. A lot of people think it conspires against them, but it doesn't. It just sits in a frequency and waits for us to attach to it. And then here's our thought and whatever our intent is,
and delivers to you whatever you're wanting.
So it's like a manifestation generator.
Yeah.
And if your crappy emotional discharge is just that,
that's what you get back.
That's what you're getting back. Yeah, exactly.
You're worried about being liked. You get back. The universe gives you things to worry about for being liked, or you're wanting more than what you have now, but you don't appreciate what you have now. The universe will give you the wanting. You have to.
You'll be the dragon chasing your tail.
Yeah. Really think about what you want and intend it, because you will get it back, because then you'll be vibing in that frequency.
All right, check it. Let's help them a little more. You stay in a vibration. You go, I would like to do a vacation. Right, I need to save up the money, and this is what I'm going to do. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, but sometime within the next year, I'd like to do this.
Right, and let the universe take care of the rest.
Remember how you put it out there, right? And I mean the exact emotional feeling and intent you felt in your body when you said to yourself, universe, I am ready. Like this is what I would really want to do. And I'm going to put all the steps towards it. I'm ready. You'll notice things working with you all of a sudden, 3 months in the change jar without looking.
Oh, yeah.
When you look back, you go, wow, when did I get like $500 in this thing? It's like, well, every time you had an extra $5, you were like, well, it's that trip, Now everything's going to push in this direction. That was just an example. Right?
Oh, yeah.
For those who want to, I got to say this correctly. For those that are like, hey, man, I'll believe it when I see it.
Nope.
You guys are never going to see it. You might get a glimpse if your intention pops out of the left field someday and you get a little glimpse, and then you go back into your little program. But for those that are like, look, I haven't seen it, but I know something's going on. I'm ready to see it. Do you hear how I'm saying this? Universe, I am ready. And you don't have to say this out loud. You can say it in your head. It's your intent. Please show me, because I believe. And I have faith that you'll protect me and guide me through this, because a lot of people go, I'm going to see demons. Everybody's always worried about demons. Everyone, even me, even some of the topic tonight is going to be about
Yes, that's right. That's
giant
right.
monster thing that stuck tentacles into the people in the room, and we couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. And they think it's there. But if I worry about it, that's all you're going to deal with, right? I know it sounds so weird.
It does sound so weird. Again, you choose to believe the stories or you don't. Either way, it's a good story.
No, the story is getting better because as we go with the story, we add people in.
Just do your disclaimer.
Right? So, well, no, we're not up to this part yet.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So people like Gina give us credibility, more factor.
Yes.
Right? But we also have Chris, Cherie, you and I, Josh, Zed. You know, we have quite the crew. Christy, we're JJ.
Ben full of
Serge.
misfits. Yeah, Serge, you're out there. We love you.
Look, there's a bunch of yous.
Bitcoin.
The legitimacy factor has gone up thousands of % because of what's occurring around other people, right? So when you go, yeah, am I going crazy?
Well, you might be, but it's okay.
Dear universe, that's there too.
It's
Yep.
there. It's all there.
That's
all
one of
true.
one of my favorite things to say now is, oh, you're real too.
Mhm.
Oh, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I don't want to get any closer than this, but okay. Because some of that stuff is frightening, beyond frightening. But what have you been noticing? Like, did you have a rough past month? Because now
I did with the Mercury retrograde. I did. I felt like I was stuck in glue, and no matter how far or how hard I tried to push forward, I couldn't. So then I just do what I always do. I do nothing, say nothing. That's my policy. You know, when the universe keeps putting an obstacle in your way, stop trying to get through it or around it, because
square pegs and round holes don't fit each other.
If it's
so
meant
stop
to
trying
happen,
to force
the
it.
obstacle will be removed. And so, yeah, I felt like my hands were crossed. My hands were tied. Funny thing happened to me in the kitchen today while I was washing dishes. I kept hearing a tweeting sound. So I kept looking at the window and tweeting all around me. And I kept stopping and going to the window. And then I was washing dishes. And then one of the little figurines I have over my kitchen sink jumped out into the sink. And I said, okay, you have my attention, you know. And
that's how it occurs.
That's how it occurs.
Now, what were you doing?
I was just washing dishes.
Okay, we've talked on this show ad nauseum about me washing dishes and then it occurring.
Yeah.
Right? Because and I say it's either in the shower, when I'm on the toilet, when I'm driving, or when I'm washing dishes. It's always when you're open and you're aware, but you're just relaxed and you're kind of
you're just in the moment. You're in the moment washing the dishes. It's
because as you're scrubbing it out, your thoughts in your head. If all of our movie screens can have this similar effect, right? There's a lot of going things on at once, right? Oh, I got to do all these dishes. You look at the dishes. There's a lot of dishes in the sink. You go, oh God, I don't want to do all those dishes. Lowest cake G, right? And then you go, okay, check it out. You know, I'm going to do it because I don't want Paula to do it. And I don't want to do it because I don't want to live in a dirty house. And if I get it done now, then we don't have other things to do later, right? Now, all of these thoughts are moving through my head at the same time. And then I just squirt some soap on the thing and I start going and I go, oh, you know, Squeak's behind me. Hey, Squeak, buddy, this is what's going on. And as I start going, the thought goes to just, you know, instead of 5 things, 3 things. Instead of 3 things, 2 things. Then one thought. Right. And then when you hit that one thought, you're kind of in this relaxed mojo mood. I'm kind of singing to myself. I'm like, hey, Squeak, buddy, what's going on, buddy? I'm doing all the dishes. And then, boom, something comes up and goes, I don't know if he could see me. Right. And I turn and I go,
that's what it was like.
You can't be serious.
That's exactly what it was like. And it's funny that you had just said that because Chris from the chat room just asked me if I remember what I was thinking of. And at that very moment, I had no thought in my mind at all. I was completely separate and I felt completely separate and apart from what I was doing. And I think that's why it happened, because I allowed myself to be.
When they say empty your mind, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. And so Chris, that's exactly what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking anything. I felt just separate at the moment. And it scared me, but not in a scary kind of way. It scared me in a very
that's when you notice something else is there.
I got very excited about. Yes, like a good scary feeling. That's what it was like.
It's funny when you get awareness of how it was done. We're talking about now, right? the next time you do it, you don't even realize you're doing it. It just occurs
Yeah,
way
it was
easier.
So strange.
But you're aware of it now.
Yeah.
So in the background and the program running is this awareness, and it spreads out a little bit. So as you get into that zone, you start interpreting more and more signals that come into your aura, that come into your field of being. So you'll notice other things there. Things will move. You'll be aware. You'll ask a question. Right. What happened in here a little while ago? The light bulb shot right out of the
light bulb. Yeah. So there's always something really strange that happens before every show. Sometimes the equipment fails. It doesn't work. We can't get on the internet. Sometimes it's like just a negative energy that'll run through the house that'll make us bicker like over nonsense.
You'll feel the energy change.
Yeah. And then we look at each other like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Tonight it was we had just turned on the lamp in the living room, and the light bulb shot across the room.
It literally popped out and
of
came,
the lamp. And
I was like, whoa, hello. But I know some of that stuff is just what it is. And other stuff, I noticed we're hypercharging it with our own energy. You bought this thing the other day that you have around the window, the lights.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So I noticed that it's a solar panel box,
yeah,
little tiny one, right? So you hang it on the windowsill and then it lights up at night, right?
Yeah.
I walked into the room in the middle of the day and the light went on.
During the day?
I wasn't halfway in the room.
Yeah.
And then I said, let me test this. And I stepped away and then I stepped forward again and the light went on and the box wasn't facing me. And I'm like, is that thing reading my energy in the room?
I don't know.
Well,
but if you remember before, so I have these Christmas lights. Well, I used to have these Christmas lights in the kitchen, white lights. I love them. For some reason, they make me very happy. If someone knows why, please let me know. So, because it's so strange, I have them all over the house. So they had gone out, and I was really, really upset. And Frank knew I was very upset. So I ended up buying these little tiny LED lights, but they work off a solar panel box. So for right now, I'm using those in the kitchen. But prior to us having those up, the lights every night blink. They go on and off.
Oh, no. They almost like a surge of energy makes them way brighter. Yes, it's almost like an
energy surge.
Right? And they would whomp. And I go, wow, what's that?
Yes. And it happens every night. So now that they're out, it hasn't been happening. But what Frank was saying happened during the day. So I think it's another one of those.
Because it's just to absorb light. It's not supposed to go on during the day. Because I kept stepping in and stepping out. And then I started dancing in the room like ridiculously. But what I'm doing is I'm testing, guys, I'm actually just testing
the energy.
I'm testing the waters, the areas. Chris said, talking about Buddha says having to empty a vessel before you can fill it. One of the things I learned from Chief Hollowbone, I've talked about a bunch of times on here, it's like made a joke, all kinds of funny stuff with his name. And then to find out that you have to remain hollow and empty and then ask the universe to fill you. Yes. And then you're to give away everything the universe gives you for free. Like it's
to everyone else
confetti. Hello, Frisco, thrown in everyone's face. I love you. I love you. I love you. And when you're dead empty, the universe will fill you with twice as much, though. You just keep getting more and more. And apparently you expand in your awareness, thus getting more and more of that energy. Where this path is leading us, guys.
It's so strange.
Manifestations, perhaps?
But it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's
being
so
happy.
we're on it.
Yeah. See, the journey has become interesting again. For so long, it was dead and boring. Droned on, and you kind of get into this routine. I started doing shows in every state, and I was going, man, this sucks. I don't understand what's happening. That every state, it's the same exact state of mind in these areas. It sucks. Like where did the heart of the people go? Then I started thinking it was me. Then I was thinking, the people around me, who am I with? And I'm like, this can't be happening. Well, that stopped. That stopped for me. And just getting up and starting to go about my day has become exciting again. And I don't do anything, guys, that's that great. I go for walks. I hang out with my cats.
Very ordinary here.
Yeah, it's super ordinary, right? Like I just talk to people. I'm like, hey, what's up? I go visit people. That's it. I keep it simple.
Yep.
But the crazy things that occur on a daily basis by just inserting myself with a new state of mind and intention during the day.
Yep.
Right? Knowing it, I go out there. I say, as soon as I start walking, I start feeling, I'll get like, after like the first block, when the air gets in your chest and you're like, oh, it's a good day. Okay, I'm out here. I'm all right. All right. Okay. Then I start recognizing, okay, my name's Frank. I'm a creator. I do all this stuff. And then I go, ooh, wait a second. There's people around me. We. And I change the tone. And then I go, you know what? I see like somebody drive like a jerk. I go, he must be ready to go to the bathroom in his pants. Let him go, let him go. Or he might have cancer. He needs to get to the hospital. He's cutting everybody off. Get out of here. Give him some love, right? People standing at the bus stops. Hey, they don't look happy. Most of them, right? Everybody's got that tense look on their face like, man, it's 5 o'clock and we're in the Bronx, man. And I just go, you know what? Send love at these people. And just like buckets of love. And my awareness eventually changed. Somebody wrote in the chat room before, I'm breaking the code of disillusion to see what is before me. I'd walk around just saying that. And after a few times, and after saying that just doesn't work. You have to like put this love out. Like you have to be like a generator of like a lighthouse giving off the light in a storm. Aww. And walk around and just be a beacon and send out, hey, I love you. Hey, it's okay. Hey, you're not alone. And I started seeing, like literally, when I broke my third eye open, I walk around, I look sometimes 3-4 inches over someone's head when I'm talking because the real them is talking to me.
And it's awesome.
Yeah,
this
right? While you're yapping with me, I'm going, yeah, the New York Jets and the Giants, that one is telling me, you see what he's doing? He'll point at himself, or she'll point like, yo, you got to break this. Smack me right now. Hurry up. Give me some knowledge. And I'll go, hey, what's up, buddy? Yeah. How's it going? And I'll break that train of thought on them, and I'll see the other guy just come out. Yep. And then it'll be inside the eyes of the person suddenly. And I'll go, oh, you're back. Because of the music, I do see a lot of people all the time, right? And I'll just see them and they'll go from bad moods. They'll go, we always just, after seeing you, it's like an explosive. I go, I'm handing you codes. See, this is how I think. Mm-hmm. I'm giving you what I have for free. Right. As soon as I shake your hand. Right. Just take it. I want you to have it. Chris talked a bunch of times about meeting Lucifer and then Lucifer giving him. Chris Geo, yeah. Giving him information and giving it to him and saying there's nothing more I could do for you. Then he called him back and said, Lucifer, come back. And then he came back another time and he says, what are you calling me for? I gave you everything. Right. Like you literally don't need me. This is why we know the difference between the characters we're working with and who's bad and who's good. Like they're like, give you whatever you need to do what you need to do as a gift of the heart. Right. And then you call them back and they're like, what are you doing? It's for you now to become awesome. You have the info. This isn't, call on me if you don't need me. You just want to say hi. You are it now. See, that's the second part of the step. It's like you get the info, you learn it, right? And then you apply it to you. You apply it. You forget about everyone else. Forget about the other beings. Right. They're not going anywhere, guys. Right?
Yeah, and this is coming from a man who I met who used to hate people. I mean, you used to hate to be around them, and you couldn't.
That came from the abuse in the hip hop world and the other radio show.
Right, but see how quickly
people would eat off your plate, and then they wouldn't leave food for you. Right. And that I'm literally being literal and figured, like put it all together. Yeah. And I felt like a daddy who had a family, but I had no wife. Right. And then no mommy taking care of nobody. It was all daddy. And then no one even looked at me when I got sick. They would just stop showing up. Or if I couldn't, I need help with something, they would just stop showing up. And I'm like, whoa. it's pretty easy to see, what's happening with that. So abuse of that over and over and over, you start to go insane with it.
I understand.
I helped a friend once come up from Florida he used to live here and then he moved there and then his life was getting screwed up. And I went through that whole thing in my past and I got him back up here, but his dad passed and I was so stressed and I brought this kid up and I didn't want to, but I was like, I got to do it just because we know each other and we're, it's like a family, the neighborhood and everything. And his father showed up in the apartment. I was so wrecked out, just sitting on the couch crying about the other stuff. I can't believe I'm all alone and my mind is going crazy and people are just taking things and everyone's acting like a rock star, but I'm the only rock star in the room and nobody's acting. I was just going through these crazy things and his father walked in the room and I went, whoa. And he's like, okay, check it. And I'm like, I can see you. And he was like, I'm looking at you. And I'm like, you look great, but you're dead. But this had happened with my uncle, my cousin. I have seen them. Dead relatives have appeared in really good condition. This guy walked out of the darkness and started talking to me in my worst state of mind, which made me once again testing the waters when I was in this weirdly insane, angry, confused, fear-based thing.
That's how it was for you.
It became like I saw red, and then it was like a singularity in my mind, and boom, I would connect. Yep. But when you connect that way, there's a fear-based thing occurring. So that's when you see the garbage. That's when you see the things that you don't necessarily want to see. Other times it's good. I got locked up once down in Florida, and I was so straight for months that I was able to come out of my body while I was locked in the room and just travel outside the prison walls. And we'll maybe talk about that when we get back. Or maybe not. Your protection from deception. I love this show.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
No hate, no hype, no fear. Real people, real radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? It's a dream. It's a dream. A fantasy of where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thoughts you were alive until you felt my pain. The circus in my mind.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. And that's Come Alive by me, Frank Castle. And apparently, it was funny. Paul was like, you got to change that song, man. Whatever that you got to put a new song up. I'm like, that's my like solo hit song. And she looked at me like, oh, it is
a rock star.
And that's funny. But,
shit.
Yes. So like I was saying, I'll just get into it quick. I was really, I was like 2 months in on a 4-month stay for some BS. And, I was getting real scared. They put me in like a dorm area with my own spot in like my own cell area. But there were 20 spots and there was 40 people. And they were like, just don't come out. Don't come out of that spot. And I wasn't supposed to be there. There was like rapists and murderers. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be in here, man. I got the stupidest charge in the world and you're putting me in here with them? What are you, crazy? So I sat against the wall. Like I faced it and I was just rocking back and forth and like sitting like with my legs crossed. Like really, I had lost a lot of weight while I was in there. I became a little bit of a nervous freak because I was the only white kid running around there. It was very awkward. And something happened. I just came out of my body and I floated through the wall. I could see every layer of the wall disappear. And I was going, oh, what's happening to me? Like I couldn't tell, and I could see each strip layer, and then I came out on the other side of the wall, and I was just floating over everything, and I literally pulled the I'm gonna fall right, and I went back into my body, and like 1 second, whoop, back in, and then I went, wait a second, now I know nobody could get to me because the door's locked, so I am safe, and I'm in this cell, and I just think I came out of my body. I'm going to do that again. Let's do that again. And it happened instantly. And I was able to control it a little bit and then a lot of it. And I went on a little joyride and everything. And I haven't been able to do it too many times like that. That I think that came out of like the fear.
The fear.
And I just like, I'm getting out of here.
Yep.
A couple of times on the ayahuasca, they showed me my past lives where I've died, but I was doing something interesting. Like I was saving people in a rock slide, like a landslide, like and I ran over to a pocket that was people with their hands out. And I ran over to grab them, like, come on. And the rock just came down and crushed me. And I heard the squish, but I was standing there and I was in the rock and I went, oh, are you kidding me? And then I floated up and I looked down and I went, oh, I'm dead. Damn it. And I went right back to the light. Like, I got to go back. And I just shot literally over and I woke right back up.
I saw that in what I forget what it's called. It was one of those regressions. I'm a Dolores Cannon follower. It was quantum hypnotism healing QHHT regression, and I went back to a point of light. I was under hypnosis. I went back to being a point of light and rocketing to source and back. And I remember what felt like before I became a point of light, I said, no, it's too soon. And they had explained to me after you receive the hypnosis, you speak with the therapist. And she said, you were saying that it was too soon. Your soul didn't get time to rest. It just rocketed back to source and then back into a body and then back to source. There was no resting in between. And I remembered that. And it was very powerful.
That is very potent.
I think I just remembered that now from having the, I think I got that healing in 2013, 2014 maybe.
That's amazing. But see, that's how it occurs. You get relaxed. You start thinking about it.
Yeah.
You start remembering.
Yeah.
With your shoulders not being tense or your mind being tight, and things start flowing naturally.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, wow, look at this.
Look at this.
You ever notice that a lot of these conversations, point of light, traveling, rocketing, back and forth, we talk about popping out of our body and going at a membrane and then passing through and then being in some hyper liquidy kind of, that's what it is. Everything's kind of like that.
Yes.
And then portaling and rocketing and traveling. This is why they call it a simulation, people, because we're doing everything that quantum computers do. Like I was behind the screen once. It was just a black, like a black construct. There was nothing but blackness. And the dragon came. The giant snake dragon thing came coming in the room, and it looked like Godzilla. And I go, what is this? And it said, you were afraid of me. And I said, I'm not afraid of you. And then it ate me. And this golden light was radiating in me. And I was just looking around going, all right, I'm going to come out the other end now. And I did. Came out as whatever. And then he came back around and looked me in the face. And he was gigantic. And he opened his mouth and said, you're not afraid. Here's the information. And I said, hey, is this like we were looking at a computer screen, but we don't see what actually happened. Like we're just typing in, go here.
Right.
A command, and then it goes and does it. But in the background, there's like a dark construct where information just comes in and then goes out. And you're like, wait, it was almost like a freight train, like a giant snake dragon traveling with the information back and forth. And I said, you're like a giant Google monster, like a giant Google snake. I said, what you are doesn't exist. You're not real. I know that. And it looked at me like, you're pretty intelligent. And I said, no, but you're offering me information and you like run off and come back with the information. So when I Google something, it does the same thing. And it started winking at me and looking at me different and was going, hey, you're pretty intelligent. That's why I gave you the codes. Like it ate me, and the golden light was doing some weird stuff to me. And then I just had all this information. And I said, this is like all right, when they say as above, so below. So when we create things like a computer, we can see the as above, so below working, but you have to go up into the spiritual realms to see what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So you need to see
because
why.
You can't look down on it.
Exactly.
If you're not up there.
You know, exactly,
Roxy.
So if you go up in the sky and look down at certain points in Egypt at the pyramids and then a computer motherboard, they look similar. Like just points in attraction. And we're just building miniature versions of that. And then so on and so forth, up and down the lines.
Yes.
This is what goes on. So seeing it from the other perspective puts it in perspective completely. You start to say, oh, this is what's happening. Oh, and you get all nervous and your knees get weak.
Yes.
All right. I like just free flowing talking with you. But we got to get to the disclaimer.
Okay.
I just got to do it.
Good.
Because
this
is where we go crazy.
I feel floaty.
I do too. This is the story of my journey and my journey alone. And pause. I don't suggest you try this at home alone, that is, unless you're ready. Then by all means, proceed. But first, we suggest you find a reputable shaman who knows what he or she is doing and travel safe in the love and the light. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. We have so many interesting moments. People have questions about my experience, and I told them, I give you the answer. I tell you the story, because I think we're 4 weeks ahead of the story we talk on the show when I tell the story.
Yeah, about that.
So I have the answers to some of the stuff
Oh,
already.
wait a minute. What episode number is this?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Paula, my etherical translator. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Episode number 50.
Yeah. Isn't that wild? Are you sure it's number 50?
Oh, I'm positive. You made me look at myself weird for a second by saying that. But no, we are at episode number 50.
Wow.
One of the books I was breaking out. It's kind of hard to find, but if you could find it, it's a very small book. It's a little, was that like 6 inches? And 96 pages. Practical Mental Influence and Mental Fascination by William Walter Atkinson. Introductions, exercises, and directions capable of being understood by any person of average intelligence. This book describes some of the stuff that we talk about in frequency and vibration, and the law of vibration, thought waves, mental induction, mental concentration, mental imaging. This is back in, like, I would think the 60s. And hypnotic influencing at a distance. These are the science experiments that were done to show what we're talking about now is not only real. This comes from a whole collection too. This got passed down to me from a kid. We used to talk to each other about something called the gray matter. And he used to look at me and he'd get really stoned and go, see how intensely I'm looking at you? And I'm like, yeah. And he'd wave his fingers like this at me. And then he would draw a picture of this energy coming off of his head, attaching to me.
Who is that? Who is
my
that?
buddy Fred. And so it would hit me. And then I'd go, yeah.
You just hit me with energy.
Yeah.
You did that with your hand.
And then it would like connect to everyone. So we'd go, oh, we're connecting through the gray matter. And then he's like, he would make this joke, and then he ran out with the book one day after like a year of talking about the gray matter.
Wow.
And that's where he got the information from. So it's funny how things fall into your lap and have been with me from my whole life. This is from when this 1996, I think he gave that to me. Interesting. All right, so tonight's little story. We're on the 5th get-together, by the way. Oh, lowercase g's. There some nights I just want to, I wish I could make them into short movies and show you guys. That's how scarily fantastical, awesome, intense.
Stupid.
The three of us decide to get together and hang out. That would be you, me, and Gina.
Yes.
Right? So we're hanging out. We decide to smoke and see what occurs. Right?
Correct.
So I'm like, all right, we'll set it up. We get everything going nice.
Yes.
We send you down the road first.
Yes.
Yes, because we were going from one side of the room to the other.
Yes.
All right. So we just went right to doing this. I know that if Gina was here right now, she'd be like, listen, we didn't do any of the stuff we needed to do beforehand, and we learned better and we know better.
Right. She would say that.
No, because we
She
just
would say
learned
that.
how to clear a room,
Right.
do all the things
Yes.
we're supposed to do.
Yes.
And we did none of it first.
Right.
We did nothing.
Right.
We just sat down and were like, come on, let's do this. All right. So we're all held. Once you get the information, guys, and you put it into play once, or even think about putting it into play, you're instantly held to a higher standard.
Right.
So if you're not doing, this is what the rituals are. They're like, you have to clear your space. It has nothing to do with demonic entities and rituals of eating dead babies. None of that.
No.
All you're doing is lighting some sage,
Yes.
saying your intention,
Yes.
clearing the space.
Making everything that you feel is negative leave the space. That's clearing the space.
Absolutely. So there's nothing crazy. We take out our crystals and we sit it. We like hold our hands over each other, like palms to palms.
Oh! Remember when we did that, me
Yeah,
and you,
and it worked.
and we started giggling. Remember?
Yeah,
It
because
was
the
so
energy was
stupid.
going nuts. It's funny how you keep saying it's so stupid because
It's
I think
not
you're nervous
stupid.
of the reality factor of it.
I am.
If you could see her face, she looks like a 12-year-old right now who's all shy and everything.
Yeah.
Because she knows the reality factor. And by the way, folks, she knew before me.
I know.
So
I know the reality factor. It's scary.
So check it out. These are my notes from that night. I never finished them
Okay.
because I got lazy.
Oh, that's right. But you took a while to come out.
You know what it is? Writing notes an event after. I'm not a note
Yeah.
writer,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like I do the show because that's where the story has to be told. All right. So the three of us decide to go under. I could see. All right. So you smoke. She smokes. What I saw were your vortexes. You laid down
I had to.
and you were smiling and just went out.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Blanket over you. Finished. Okay. So Gina, she was more like she had a little bit of an issue.
Yes.
We were all having a breathing problem.
Yes.
That's what was happening. But she looked like she was just having trouble. She was squirming around, and I knew something was wrong. So I smoked, but I didn't smoke that much.
No.
Right?
No,
Just
'cause you
enough to
wanted
open
to-
me up. I took
Yes.
2 giant hits, and I saw it looked like a tornado coming out of your chest.
Out of my
Right?
chest.
Like towards me, like a black hole opened.
Yeah.
And I went, what is that? And then I looked at Gina, and she had one, but the way she was sitting up, so like she was sitting with her chest up to the ceiling.
Yeah.
So her tornado was going up. Yours was, you were laying on
Yeah,
your
'cause I
side,
was
so
laying
it
on
was
my side.
on like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
And I'm going, what is happening here? Like I didn't have one, but I knew. I talk about my vortex all the time, the triangle in
Yeah.
my chest.
Mhm.
Everything gets sucked into it when I ask it to come to me. Anyway, so they tell me, don't worry about Paula, right? She's got this.
Don't
And
worry
I'm
about
like,
Paula.
why is she just out? It was just like a warm,
Yes.
leave me alone. I am 100% okay. You should honestly just worry about yourself. That's actually what freaked me out a little bit.
Yes.
The worry about yourself. And that usually doesn't happen. So when I tell you what happens next, it's crazy. So I turn to Gina, and she's fidgeting
Yeah.
pretty badly.
Yeah.
I sit back, and I sit on the floor, and I'm just staring at her, which is already uncomfortable because I don't like to look people like directly in the face while they're doing their little thing. But then I'm like, nah, that doesn't look right. When I go through that, I know what's happening to me. I'm having trouble breathing.
Yeah, you're getting
So I go,
you're
girls,
getting your ass kicked.
wait. So I go, girls, everyone has to breathe, right? We should don't
No,
forget
I
to
did.
breathe.
I did.
There
I
was
breathed.
listen, me,
I
you,
I
and Gina.
I think I stopped
we're
breathing.
not breathing.
I know, but
That's
I
the
think
problem.
I know.
And I was standing there moving
I'm sorry, I'm
around,
screaming.
and I was saying to myself, I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't tell what it was. Not one of us was taking a breath.
Yes, I had to.
And
take a
she was
breath.
like,
Yeah,
and I go,
like
oh,
suffocating.
and they were telling
Yeah.
me, Frank, we went through this 100 times. You're in spacesuits. You have to breathe. Scuba,
Breathe.
scuba, scuba. So I go, everybody needs to breathe. And all 3 of us took this monster breath. It was like air got sucked out of the room. And I went, oh, okay. All right. So
I
Gina
forgot
starts.
about
Wait,
that.
yeah,
I
this was
forgot about
crazy. I don't like to touch people, right? So
Yes.
when I said, I'm going to touch Gina's leg and tell her, like, yo, it's okay.
Yeah, I remember
right?
I kept telling her, it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Gina, it's okay.
So I
It's
touched
okay,
the
Mama.
leg, and then they said, no. I was sitting next to her, and they were going, that's not enough. You got to touch her arm. Now, when you and I clear each other, I always grab your wrist.
Yes, you grab my wrist.
Like all skin, and then do what I have to do.
Right.
I do it like that.
Right.
So they were like, if that's closing the circuit, they tell me. Christy and I have done it during the ceremonies and stuff. So I touched her arm, and all of my energy went, woo, 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 and then she grounded.
Right.
And she took a deep breath and then just sat back.
Well, she's not grounded. That's her
That's the thing. Well, that's what she's working
ground
on.
Easily.
Okay, so check it out, because now I'm getting scared. This is the fun part.
Don't get scared.
No, because Zed has explained to me that thing's still here. But it's I try to explain that it's a vibration and frequency. I think that I take things to. So that's why we see it.
Well, you're giving off something now because my leg is shaking.
Yeah. Well, I'm hypercharged,
You
and
are. I feel it from
hyperspace is
here.
here. We've been anchoring that here for a good year. All right, so I sit back on the floor so I could stare at the two of you and then start my own little experience, because it was a little strong.
Yeah.
Even though it was like a 2-hit, very strong thing, but enough to where I've been under so many times, I'm kind of used to it.
Right.
You're never fully used to it, but you can help people. They let you help people if you're the guy.
If they need help.
Mm-hmm.
They need help.
All right, so I sit back and I'm like, they go, no, don't worry about it. You got to worry about yourself right now. And then I was like, this is great. I just helped everyone. And I turned to the side and look at the front door. Guys, I've never been so instantly like, holy shit. I had to say it because, all right. Sorry. There was this giant, it looked like it was planted into the floor with tentacles. And then it had like a worm sack body that was about 6 feet high, and then out of the top of that opened, and there was tentacles with teeth pulling things into this mouth with tentacles with teeth in the mouth.
Oh, I remember.
Right? And I can see behind it is more of them. They looked like giant alien pods. This is why I know that these guys that make these movies with the alien face huggers and stuff, they've seen this stuff in the DMT trips.
So. I mean,
because they're hard representations of them.
Yeah.
Okay, except this thing didn't have a face hugger that popped out like that.
Right.
That's not what happened. I looked and I went, you're not supposed to be here. And as soon as I said that, it whipped a tentacle into my throat. Yep. Yo, it was like the perfect aim right into your mouth. It was so it was very gay, like very unemasculating, because these tentacles have spikes on them, and it lodged into my throat.
Oh, so they're like barbs?
Like barbs on
it. Like a
stingray? And at the top, another little mouth thing, right?
Yeah.
So I felt this thing go.
Horrible, Frank.
Listen to me. I'm wiggling around.
I know.
You're passing out with a smile on your face.
I know.
And I see Gina watches this go down, right? So I had just got her under control, right? And back to normal. And then she hears me go, hey, you're not supposed to be here. And now I'm on my knees with my mouth open, back and forth like I'm giving invisible blowjobs to people. And it's so uncool, right? I'll tell you what happened. I know this sounds retarded. So the screen, you know, when you're thinking of something and then all of a sudden you're not thinking of it no more, right? It was like whatever was bringing the experience to me shifted the vibration or something, and the whole room turned blue. And I watched as the room came across, it cut the tentacle of this creature off, and the tentacle was hanging out of my mouth.
Right.
And I started choking.
Yes.
You couldn't breathe, right? Nobody could breathe right
breathe
because these things had tentacles around our necks. But when I opened my mouth, it went into my mouth. Wait, so I get up and I scream and start throwing up, right? I ran into the bathroom.
And I remember saying, open your mouth.
Open your mouth, just throw. And I'm going, it's black coming up. I'm clear. I just drank. We're doing the right thing. What is going on here? And I'm throwing up. And I hear Gina start yelling, oh, you need to get out of here. Right? And I'm like, I think she sees it. I got to get this thing out of my mouth. everyone was having the issue with the breathing thing. So this went on for a few minutes, and I was having a bad Frank Burgeon again, right? And I'm going, it's black, it's gooey,
and I just keep.
Why does this happening to me?
Throw it up.
Okay, so Gina comes to the door. She was afraid to and then she just comes in come over here. You all right? I tell her what happened. I start explaining everything. You get up and me and her start becoming like developing a system of destroying these things. Like, we're going to go in and we're going to kill them. We're not going to play a game. We're going to we're just going to show up and we're going to kill everything that we see in this area. And I'm like, I think we should do that. I'm pretty pissed off. Let's go back and kill them. Right. And we just start warring it up, which is intense because Gina's down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying. Okay. You get up and you're like, have fun, guys. I'm going in the other room, going back to bed. Remember you left?
Yeah, I had to. I had to lay down.
Okay, so check it out. Because we only got a few minutes left. Mm-hmm. So, and I want to finish this story when I want to drag it into next week. So me and her start planning how we're going to do this. And we're like, yo, we're beings of light. We're going to do this. So then we do all the things all of a sudden we didn't do in the ritual. Like, we didn't sage. We didn't say anything. We didn't set intentions. We kind of just went and did it. So this time she's like, no, we didn't do anything, man. We gotta do all that stuff. They taught us that. Now we got to do it. So I'm like, she's right, man. We're going to get messed up.
To do it.
Not listening. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we do it and go back in.
Right.
All right. I'm like, where are you? Show them to me. I really smoked hard too. I'm like, I'm going to punch one of these things with a light sword, and I got a buddy with me. This is going to be great. They take me, and they're like, nope. And I go, who's this? What are you? And all these beings just raising me in vibration, bringing me up in frequency, straight up. And then they go, hey, take a look. And I could see source all the way at the top. And I'm like, wow, that's cool, man. When you get past a certain point, you could just look straight up. They're like, yeah, you could look up. You seem to look up. Look down. And I looked down and I was like, oh, there those things are. I go, but why? It looked like a tabletop Pac-Man game.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see all right, it looked like an ant just walking on a Pac-Man grid, a whole bunch of them. And I said, why did they just look like that? They go, well, that's the program. That's what it looks like from here. They don't even know you're here. You know, like when you're above an anthill or you're walking over ants walking, they don't know you're there. You just walk over them and don't bother them. They don't even know you exist. You're up here. They don't exist. Take a look. And I'm like, they're just on a flat screen. Like, I would never have. Why would I go into a flat area like that and go into it looked like me going in playing Atari. I don't play Atari. Right. We're up in quantum super hyperspace physics and stuff. We're in universal, different weird stuff. And they're like, yeah, well, why would you go there? Why would you play with that? You know they're there, but yet you were there. And I said, well, let's go back and get them. They're like, you don't need to. You're done with it. It's only there as a level, and you just pass by it, and that's it. They can't ever get you again, as long as you don't let yourself fall into that again. And why would you now that you know that's there? It's amazing. It's like they work through me sometimes. I just don't know. Actually, we love you guys so much. Thanks for taking the time spending it with us on Saturday nights. Stick around. Chris and Cherie is up next with Beyond the Veil. And we love you. You know why? Because we're your protectors.